Hello, welcome to Soccer A to Z. We are tackling the letter V this week. V for?
V for what?
Value. The best value Premier League signings.
I think I'm going to win this week.
You never win.
This week it's going to be different.
What was yours again?
I'm not telling you. You'll have to tune in to see. What was yours?
Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones. Okay. Surely the highlight, though, has to be the
Oh,
surprise from
what
Tube.
a surprise that was.
Unbelievable. I love him so much. I adore him.
Stay tuned to watch that.
I love him more than anything.
Tube's any sign of a new human?
Not yet.
Has Amy given birth to a new human yet?
She's 5 days overdue and no movement.
No movement.
Yeah,
Stay
I
calm.
wasn't going to come. I
Stay
wasn't going to come
calm.
today. But Amy said, go. Get out there. I was like, all
You
right.
weren't going to come.
Well, I just thought, if you're a father-to-be, you just sit and wait. And she was like, no,
Can't
everyone
wrap
else
yourself
just...
in cotton wool, can you?
Yeah, but I'm new to it.
I'm
So-
Team Amy on this.
Yeah,
Jesus. Get on
Amy
with your
said,
job, mate. Get on with your job.
That's what I said. I was all right. I love coming here. I'll come.
Have you
Get
got
some
your
t-shirts
Yeah,
Have you
made
got your
up.
phone on, though?
No, it's here.
Right,
Oh,
get your
where
phone
is
on
it?
and put it on. Make sure it's not on silent. Right, let's
No,
get started with this show.
it's
Here you go.
Got it.
Welcome to the world's #1 podcast, Soccer A to Z, the people's podcast, saving football 1 week at a time, whilst helping society.
We're still doing that?
We're still helping society, yes. We're working our way through the alphabet from A to Z. Today's letter is V for Veruca. We have illness in the
What
house.
a player he was, by the
He
way.
was, yeah.
Mark Veruca.
We have illness in the house. It's not Helen. Hello, Helen.
Oh, hi. Hello.
It's not
I'm
Joe.
Not ill.
Hello, Joe.
Hello.
It's not Tubes. Hello,
I'm
Tubes.
here.
It's Robbie.
Oh, he's off again.
But he's
no.
ill.
What's his excuse this
No,
time?
he's genuinely ill, and he was very kind because he said, "Look, I've got a bit of a cold, and I don't want to come in because Tubes is about to have a new human,
And he'll
it's-
influence the cold.
Yeah.
On,
He'll
he'll
he's been
influence his
influenced.
cold.
And I
Yeah,
thought
he's
that
been
was-
influenced by the sniffles, hasn't he?
I thought that was really good of him. So
Influenza.
get well soon,
Yes.
Robbie.
Do you think
Get
he's
well-
helping save society by doing that?
Possibly is. I think if everyone gets a cold, we learned it in the pandemic. You get a cold, stay at home.
What
Stay
a
at home.
gesture. That's his wedding, his birth present to you, not turning up.
Do you think,
what
right,
a
if-
gesture.
Yeah.
Everybody got a cold. Whoever got a cold tomorrow, all stayed home. Do you think we could get rid of it?
It's a good shout.
Do you know what I mean? If
No.
nationwide we went, right, you got a cold, you stay at home. Do you think we could get the numbers down? Or flu
No.
or whatever?
No, well,
We could do, come
no.
on.
Well, yeah, you
'cause
definitely get them down. 'Cause You wouldn't
lockdown?
pass it on.
yeah, didn't
But
really
it
work,
lo-
did
it-
it? So
Hold on,
COVID's still knocking about,
didn't
isn't it?
lockdown, I don't want to get involved in lockdown, do we? Conversations this early in the podcast. We're in letter V. And we're talking
But it
about
didn't.
conspiracies.
It worked a bit, but it didn't kill it off completely, did it?
No.
Well,
Yeah, you got the
so-
numbers down, as you say.
The numbers down, maybe.
Yeah.
5 years ago, lockdown. 5 years.
Yes,
5 years.
Where's
yeah.
it going?
I had my first nostalgia conversation with somebody the other day about, hey, lockdown. Do you remember that? Wasn't it weird when we blah blah blah?
Horrific.
And it was
Oh, Tiger King.
the first nostalgia chat about how mad lockdown was.
I didn't get the Tiger King. There was nothing I liked about him.
They were
or-
all pretty dislikable characters,
fact
but
that he
everyone was watching it, weren't
Yeah,
they?
but all the fact he looked
No,
after
I
lions. I hated everything about that show. I was watching it going, what am I watching? I don't like anyone on this show. why am I watching this stuff? It's horrible.
Because there was nothing else to do.
So I was watching Beast Games the other day. I don't know if anyone's watched
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Well, I've just
Have you
thought-
gone
I
through
thought
to the
I
end?
was yeah, I'm through to the end. I was sitting with my daughter going, do you know what? I just hate this show. It's just so nasty.
It's manipulative,
It's
isn't
just
it?
like, oh, you can win some money, but you've got to
Stab people in
stitch
the
up
back.
your man.
Yeah,
You've got to do
yeah.
this. You've got to be horrible. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. And it's just like,
It's like
I
that
just-
traitors thing, and everyone the
traitors is horrible.
Yeah,
You
not
know,
for me.
like,
And
if
what-
you-
Blurring the lines. It's blurring the lines on honesty,
if
innit?
you're being really nasty, then you can
Yeah.
win some money. I just don't like it all.
Yeah.
So I
Shifting the moral compass.
yeah, but we've got so used to it, haven't we now?
Yeah. How jammy did the person who won it get, by the way?
Well, I don't know because I got bored of it, so I just forward-winded to the end to see who won. So I don't know what happened in the end.
Forward
Anyway,
winded. That's
forward-winded.
that's
like-
wow. Forward winded.
It's like rewound,
Except it goes the other way.
forward wind.
Into the future.
What is it? Forward wind.
Forwarded. Fast forward.
Fast
Fast
forward.
forward. That's it. Great,
That's
well done.
brilliant.
Skipped
What
it,
reminded?
is what they say now.
Coming up later in the show, we have a surprise for Tubes.
Ooh.
And no, it's not Steve Coogan. We have a surprise guest. We should have got Steve Coogan.
Is it a phone call off his missus?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, saying, come
Get
back.
yourself here now.
We've got a human coming out.
It was a test. It was a test. I thought you wouldn't go.
That would be brilliant if it was a test, yeah. Right, now for the last 2 weeks, we've had backlash. Backlash about pizzas, backlash about soccerettes. But this week, we've had backsplash.
Ooh.
Because
have we?
everyone is
yeah.
talking about urinals. Helen, everyone is claiming I should have won, obviously, because it really resonated with our listeners talking about urinals. I was talking about how horrific the urinals were.
Yeah,
Yes.
a few of my friends sent me messages saying Lovejoy was robbed.
Well, it was robbed. So listen, there's going to be some bad language in the next. While I read what some of the listeners have said. Well, it's bad language. They just use the word for wing, which is a swear word. So if you've got a kid and you don't want to, just fast forward it 30 seconds a minute. Ash Whitt said Tim should have won. San Siro, iconic stadium, awful house, piss and bog roll everywhere. No toilets, just holes in the floor. Brian says Tim should have won. Not to mention the sinks used as urinals. Oh, that's for
Nothing
sheep
wrong with
right
that.
there. I remember coming off the cop in the 70s with wet flares as getting to the toilets was a non-starter. Do you know what? I used to hear about the rivers of wee at the cop. But I've never. I mean, I went up to Liverpool and looked at the cop. It was amazing. But I've never witnessed someone weeing in a football stadium. I don't think. Have you? Like in a terrace.
Didn't they used to say that on the cop, if you had like a rolled up program in your back pocket, you were
They wee in
basically
it, yeah.
asking for it, yeah.
Oh, people just wee in your. Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
Wee in your
Open
pocket.
invite.
Yeah, that's a.
I once went to an Oasis gig and my cousin got soaked the bag full of piss. Literally just went straight on his head. It's not the cop, it's not football, but he literally got a plastic bag came over full of wee straight on his
My
boat.
mate Marcus got a full pint of piss on the back of his neck at a gig once. Absolutely
Why do
magnificent.
people do? Why do people do
No,
that?
no,
All these-
right,
all
no,
these
no,
new-
Tubes, you stop there. Don't say people, say men. Say, why do men do this, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Because
Helen's
I
true.
don't know
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
a woman in existence that would piss in a bag
Yeah.
and then throw it at someone.
You never know.
You know this.
I can't.
If you would do that, write in, get in touch.
Backsplash.
Those coaches that I used to get up the motorway as well, where people have the bottles in them. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's horrific. I mean, yes, Helen, you're right. It's
Yeah.
absolutely horrific. And when all these people now are banging on about being a real fan, real fans were in the 70s, 80s, maybe even into the 90s, where horrific stuff would happen with urinals and bags of wee.
Yeah,
That's
so
what you had to really get
when you see a
through.
coach pulled over on the hard shoulder and there's just about 50 blokes all on the bank and so
Morg says, what was Helen thinking? Tim should have won. Merthyr Town FC still has a piss wall in use. Football heritage. Sean says, why didn't Tim win? The toilets at St James's Park in Newcastle when I was a kid was exactly this. I was tiny and basically stood there with two cocks near my both shoulders, pouring out steaming piss onto a wall. You know, I don't know whether I should have opened that can of worms, but people, it seemed to, as I say, it seemed to resonate with people.
Yeah.
Those toilets were.
You really
horrific.
wanted to win, didn't you?
They're really, well, I just thought I was.
I think you should have won, to
bringing
be fair.
something to the public.
I mean,
That's it. Now it's gone.
retrospectively, maybe, but there was. But I have a
Who won
backlash.
last week? Who won?
Sheephead.
I think I can't even remember what I did.
You did undersaw heating.
Yeah.
Undersoil heating,
Yeah.
it's piss.
Helen, what's your backlash?
No, I have a backlash against you, Tim, and I promise you that this has it's lived in my head rent free for the last 7 days.
What?
You said during last week's podcast, you get nothing back from your football club. You said you spend your entire life, you give them money.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how obsessed I've been with that, because what I get back from Torquay United Football Club, money cannot buy. The way I
get that. No, that's what I mean. Yeah, no, yeah, I don't think I get exactly what you're saying, and I'll accept the backlash. However,
all right, that's
However,
Good.
what I was trying to point out was financially, you get nothing. It's all one way. You give them money, they don't give it back. But obviously you go. It's like you go to the cinema, they don't give you anything back, but you might enjoy the movie. But remember that loyalty's pretty much one way.
You get misery,
I just think,
disappointment, frustration.
I was going to say, supporting Torquay United is almost like being in an abusive relationship. I would say the years that I have spent 4.5-hour drive homes without even the radio on because I'm done with football.
Just
so
fuming.
I don't even, absolutely fuming.
But I always say it's not about winning, it's about supporting.
Correct.
People forgetting that.
It
And
is.
as I said the other week, I wanted Chelsea to go down. You weren't here, Tubes. And the reason being is Tubes will never know what it's like to come up because we're so rich. We're never going to go down, are we? And going up from the second to the first years ago, I was going to make look at what Leeds. Are you watching Leeds fans at the moment?
Last minute heroes.
They're scoring goals and they are just
night.
they're having so much. The players are loving
place
it.
erupted, didn't it?
The Leeds fans are just enjoying it so much
No,
at the moment.
but
We're
Tim,
never gonna
you're
do it.
forgetting the misery of the seasons before when you lose and get relegated. You have to
Yeah,
take
but it's
that.
light and shade. If you eat chocolate,
if you eat joy of going up.
Yeah, but if you eat chocolate every single day, then
I do.
Then it's no fun. So you have chocolate once a year. Then it's really delicious. Jesus Christ, Helen. Helen's
there's
dire.
this whole
Probably has
generation.
mayonnaise on
Yeah,
those
exactly.
chocolates. She basically just, if you're listening to this, she just held up some chocolates. We got to move on, Joe.
This whole generation's on there of now there'll be City fans who now it's all starting to slide a little bit. And they've got a few years of barrenness. Look at United fans now who've been spoilt. Arsenal fans who've been spoilt.
Chelsea fans
and they
are
can't
protesting
handle it
tonight,
when it stops happening.
Yeah, that's
Chelsea
the thing.
fans. There's a
Can't
Chelsea
handle
fan
it,
I
yeah.
heard the other day saying, "Oh God, if we're not careful, Bournemouth will come above us." It's like, good, Bournemouth are a good team.
Yeah.
They've got, and it's like, why aren't we spending more money? Jesus Christ, how much more money can we spend?
They've set the thermostat too high, haven't they? And when it all starts going a little bit, they can't handle it.
We spent a load of money,
Helen.
just spent it in the wrong places.
Yes.
Let's move on. Ricardo says, "Hi guys, love the show and totally addicted to the nostalgia. I have a lot of animals too, many reptiles in my animal prison. Sorry, I mean home. So special respect for Helen. Any reptiles, Helen? Do you keep any reptiles?"
No reptiles at all. Although I did watch something online this morning where somebody was holding a gecko up. They had some flies on their ceiling and they were holding the gecko up and it was just going blamp, blamp,
Yeah.
picking the flies off the ceiling. And I thought then, for the first time ever, I'd like one of those.
Because you can't feed them, can you? They have to catch their own food.
That's
It's not
right.
like a
Yeah,
dog
that's why
that
you have
just
to.
give it a sausage or something.
Yeah, you have to buy
Yeah.
boxes of live crickets and things, don't
Yeah.
you, and chuck them in with them.
They don't
They're
eat it.
quite. They have heat lamps and all of that. But
Like one of those animals are not
dunno.
toys, Helen. They're
I know.
can't just order a toy, like a toy animal. No, I'm joking. How is the animal prison going? The entrapped
Oh
animals. How
my
are
goodness, he's gone from. No, I'm
are
not
they?
going to answer that until you ask how the small holding is.
How's the small holding?
Right, thank you. I mean, it's rained again,
Crunch
so
animal
ugh. Stop it. I have. Oh, you
go
obviously weren't here. I've got some new chickens.
New inmates.
Oh my!
when they come in, everyone's bashing on the doors.
Dispatched.
New fish. Sorry.
Have you finished? Okay. There's an organisation called Fresh Start for Hens, and they take ex-commercial layers and rehome them. You pay a couple of quid for them. So commercial layers are let go after 72 weeks. So they usually go
by
for
the
pet.
club.
Yeah. Let's just say let go. But they usually go for pet food, to be honest. And there's a couple of organisations, but I've adopted from Fresh Start for Hens before, where they're releasing a load of commercial birds because after a year, the egg production falls on a bird. So so then they obviously get rid of them and then get some new ones in. And there are people who go along and will pay a couple of quid for them. and it gives the farmer some money, and it's a voluntary organisation. So I've got
Very
10.
nice of you.
Yeah, 10 hens that have come. It takes them 20 weeks to
great.
come into lay. So then 72 weeks later, they're pushed out for the new ones to come in. And they can just live their lives out here now without being pet food.
When we
Did
start
they
to
take up golf or something?
When
or-
we start talking about farming, it's quite horrific, isn't it? It's like we don't ever think about it, do we?
It's
like,
a bit
That's right.
brutal,
it's
yeah.
brutal, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. 72
So
weeks,
Yeah.
and your life is done. My friend does it as well. My friend Luke, who's got a small holding down in Kent, but he calls them flat batteries. There's no such thing as battery hens anymore. But he always
Right.
says to me, "I'm going to go and pick up some flat batteries at the weekend to give them new homes," which I think's funny.
It's mad though. If they're surplus, that's like get out.
Yeah.
So, no, we don't want you no more.
That's it.
Tubes.
Yeah.
Like football, isn't it? You get moved
baby,
on.
baby
true.
news. What else? What have you tried? Any other news for us apart from baby news?
Yeah,
Or
not
have
really.
you tried the curry thing? Have you done
We've
that?
done the curry thing. We've tried other things. We've tried a bit long walks. We've tried squats.
Squats.
Yeah, we tried
squats,
running.
Gravity.
Yeah, just
so
nothing's happening. The
Nothing's
little one's just not budging. So I think I'm calling it. I think it might be induced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, weekend.
Okay.
Or
Stay calm.
yeah,
You're
I'm
laughing.
calm, yeah.
I'm good. I'm buzzing.
Joe, Francis says Joe should apply for compensation for his 5-hour delay from Vienna. Takes 5 minutes and pays out about £350 per person guaranteed.
Yeah, we
Nice
have.
to get something back from Ryanair to make up for the £3.
The wheels are in
fraction.
motion.
Are they?
Yeah, we've instructed our lawyers to take them for everything they've got. Well,
Okay.
filled out the form.
Any other news?
No, not really. Been trying to renew my broadband deal. Spent a fair bit of time on the phone to them.
Are you good at negotiating?
No.
No.
Did I tell you what I did to interrupt the stimulating broadband? Try and save the podcast. Actually, this is not that stimulating. By mistake, I went with my girlfriend to a place called Little Nashville. Little Nashville, it's a new bar. And I've got to say, it was unbelievable. Country music has
I love
completely
country.
passed me by. I know nothing about it, don't care for
I like
it. Do
country
you?
music. I like it.
Do you? Anyway, this place, it's got all cages in it, like an American place. It had a band, 2 guys from Toronto, actually, who were playing. The place was absolutely mobbed. I got talking to a couple of football fans there, one from Halifax, one from Brighton, who'd come up. They'd come for the weekend to this pub because it
Where
was
is
like,
it?
West London.
Oh,
And as you go, this was the genius of it, and I loved this. As you walked in, you could buy a cowboy hat. But what the price of the they look good cowboy hats, goodish, but the price was between £10 and £16, 10 for the cheap one, 16 for the more expensive one. And everyone who was coming in was buying them, groups of people coming and buying them. So it was just a sea of people in cowboy hats. So as soon as you're in the uniform, everyone was just smiling, having a good time, singing along to these songs. I thought it was fantastic. And it's really
Where's yours? Where's your cowboy hat?
I
then?
didn't buy one because I'm not.
Yeah,
really
of course
into
you didn't.
because I'm not really into the country music. I don't think I'll ever go back.
Call
there.
yourself a fan.
I'm not a fan.
Did that not convert you?
I didn't go away to Nashville either. I didn't go away trip to Nashville.
Did you dance?
No, I didn't dance. There was a lot
Did
of
your
people in
girlfriend?
cowboy boots. No,
No.
we
Was
wore-
it
Were
line
people-
dancing?
where?
Were they
No,
doing line
They
dancing?
do line dancing once a month, but they weren't. But people were singing
Okay.
along to all the songs. Didn't know any of the songs. I'm not a massive fan of it, but I just thought that was brilliant. Brilliant to go and watch something like that. Alfie says, Joe mentions in the recent episode sorry,
That's
you,
not real.
that must be you, that Rotherham groundsman left on the undersaw heating and went to Corfu. Yet Rotherham have neither had it at Millmore or New York. Return the crown? What do we think? Return the crown?
If it's nonsense.
If it's absolute
I
nonsense.
did make it up.
What?
I did make it up.
You did make it up.
Yeah.
we
The rest of it was true. About Leeds having 40 miles of piping under the ground.
Right.
You just made that up for a joke.
Yeah.
You can't pay people
You
like
can't
that.
do that. You won off of that.
so
Rotherham,
can we give it to Tim for urinals
Well,
then?
Rotherham have had a like a meeting about it and everything, exec meeting.
Yeah.
Has it gone right to the top?
They've gone, why don't we switch the undersoil on? And everyone's going, well, we haven't got any. They
I
said-
saw it on
Well, how do
Sports.
we get games on them when
they,
it snows?
they saying Joe said it was.
Yeah, I saw it on Sports News the day after.
Really?
Yeah.
I've also made it up that Thomas Tuchel speaks gibberish.
Alan says from Gibraltar.
The official language of Gibraltar.
Yeah, Alan says on the quiz last week you were discussing. I can't believe that. What's that other one?
Made up,
Luxembourgish.
No wonder he wins
I can't
all
believe
the
that's a
time.
language.
Absolute nonsense.
No,
It is.
I wish Robbie was here to Google it. He's our
What
VAR.
are you saying? Luxembourgish?
Yeah, I just
That's
doesn't make
real.
any sense.
No, that's real.
It's real.
That's real.
Luxembourgish.
That is real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan says, on the quiz last week, you were discussing Sunday League players getting booked for taking shirts off. A few weeks ago, the team my son was playing against, under 12s, scored a late equaliser for 3-3. 2 of the players were given a yellow card for taking their shirts off and waving them overhead. You're kidding me. You can't book under 12s for that.
Rules are rules.
Anyway,
Taking the joy out of the game.
he says 2 bookings at 12 quid each. They 12 quid for a booking. And
Where's
he
an under
said,
12 meant to get 12 quid from?
parents, and as it happens, my son's team scored again to win the game 4-3. That's brilliant. I can't believe they're booking them for that. And can I do one more? This is a bit more admin here from behind the scenes at Soccer AM from back in the day. Someone sent one in. His name's Andrew. He says, I was a fan of the week in 2003 as a bunch of Burnley fans took their seats in the Luther Blissett stand. Memories include practice catwalks in the pub the night before as the model for the Soccerette. And her boyfriend, so the Soccerette and the boyfriend were in the pub. They must have been put up in the same place.
Yeah, they used to stay in the same place.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fans in the Soccerette.
And then it plays in brackets. She denied having a boyfriend when asked by Tim on the show. The boyfriend looked a little bemused. When asked about the FA Cup, we'd just beaten Grimsby 4-1 in the 3rd round. One of the lads, who must have stunk of alcohol, sorry Helen, simply said, I think we'll win it. Helen was fascinated by our manager, Stan Ternant. Fascinated by our manager Stan Ternant's aggressive streak, which featured in a recently published book. And Tim thanked us for ripping the you-know-what out of our mate who froze on the catwalk and fell hook, line and sinker for the schoolboy era. In the club afterwards, we laughed at Tim tucking into beans on toast. As Man U took the lead against Chelsea, he proceeded to tell us to F off.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. That's the day in the
That's
life
behind
of
the
someone
scenes.
behind the scenes. If you were on Soccer M once doing anything and you want to tell us your story behind the scenes, as long as it doesn't involve anything horrific, you can write in the normal things. Right, what letter are we today?
V.
B.
Should we get Tubes to start in case this phone
case he has
goes?
to go.
Yeah.
We've got the all clear so far.
You start. What is yours, Tubes?
Right, I had one, but it had already been taken, apparently, the producer told me. So I've come up with V, value for money. Ooh. And I've got my little black book here. I'll put all my golf life stuff on. So I've made a little notes of, I think, the best value for money Premier League transfers.
Okay. This is going to be hard. I like it, but it's going to be hard.
Yeah, but I mean, there were so many, and there's some I didn't even realise. Like Vincent Kompany only cost £6 million from Hamburg, and what he went on to do for Man City.
But I suppose
ridiculous.
with any player, if they've done well for you, it's value for money, right?
And appearances, I think, as well. Because the one that I think of, sorry if it's on your list, you've Sami Hyypiä.
Yes.
Like 450 plus appearances or something, and didn't cost that much money.
No, the same like as Bellaquetta, we just call him Dave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? 6.5 million.
Yeah, played for years, got your money's worth out of him.
And what what he did for Chelsea. Jamie Vardy, £1 million.
Oh, that's that wins.
He's the winner, isn't he?
That wins hands down.
V.
Oh,
Vardy,
yeah, Vardy.
Got to win it.
Yeah.
Vardy,
But does it win it? Because Eric Cantona was £1.2 million.
Oh, wow.
And
How did Leeds sell him for that?
I don't know.
Oversight, that, wasn't it?
Well, I didn't have to clear him out for something. Wasn't there some jiggery?
Yeah, I
pokery
think
going
there
on
was
behind
some.
the
Yeah,
scenes?
Yeah.
I think he fell out with some people. But I think possibly the greatest, Seamus Coleman, 60 grand.
Really?
60 grand.
Where did he come from?
Everton, the team in Ireland, I believe. Mahrez,
Wasn't
400 grand.
400
This is
grand.
Leicester.
Wow.
Where did he come
Did-
from, Morris?
Go on, Helen.
Torre was under £1 million, wasn't he?
Yeah, Kolo Toure was under £1 million. It's literally, I don't know what's the best hit. Van der Sar, 1.5 million. from Fulham to Man United. Yeah, Edwin van der Sar.
Goalies are worth so much, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're so
Worth
important.
the weight in gold.
And he only went to United for, I think, just sort of a fill-in, and then won everything there and played for years and years and years. So there's Patrick Vieira, 3.5.
There's an argument to say Petr Cech's our greatest ever player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a goalie, but, because the amount of points he saved us, unbelievable.
Paulo Di Canio, 1.75 million Wednesday to West Ham.
Tubes, have you done any kind of conversion rate to what the average footballer went for, though, back in the mid-90s to now? Because obviously there was at some point a huge leap where at the time we would have thought £2.5 million was a lot of money, and now we're talking £100 million. So is there any? Have you done any comparisons?
I haven't done any comparisons.
No.
I've just picked the ones that I think are the best.
I don't think that's going to win then, is it?
Well, I don't know. Frank Lampard, £11 million at the time. You're like, oh wow. Yeah. But what he went on to do at Chelsea,
Vardy's still pretty relevant. He's still playing.
Yeah.
Right, £1 million for him. 10 years ago.
Yeah,
that's a steal, isn't it?
It's just value for money. And that's a strong V.
In summary,
the list.
In summary, that if you buy well, take a chance on a player, it could get your value for money massively.
Yeah.
I recommend all football clubs to do it.
I like it. You know what we haven't done? We haven't done any Vs from our listeners. We must have loads. Helen, have you got some there?
Yeah. Henry Williams says, well, obviously, VAR.
No, let's not talk about that.
Worst.
Actually, I'm starting to warm on me.
You like it?
No, I don't like it. I just think it's quite funny.
I think it's boring.
You just accept it now, don't you?
Sorry.
And also, as somebody who supports a team who we don't have VAR, will never have VAR, driving home from a decision that was wrong, that eats me up for a week. If somebody said there and then, would you like VAR to check that? I would say yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
But then even then, Helen, they could get it wrong because they have been getting it wrong.
I know. That's the thing. It needs to be quicker. It needs to be right.
They're so busy trying to make the game fair, and it's not. It's a moving game. It's not like tennis or cricket. It's
like the Ashley Young one at the weekend.
Yeah.
It's the referee's decision. Oh, let's go to VAR.
Why the V's you got, Helen?
Dan's House of Music says the victory parade when on the bus, open top bus around the town with the trophy. That's lovely. Ashwit says the Vardy party, the house party when Leicester won the league, because they all went to Jamie Vardy's house, didn't they? Watch the Chelsea Spurs game because the result of that. And then Leicester won the league. Jack Shep says Carlos Valderrama, enough said.
Yeah, enough said.
What a player.
Yeah, I like this one. Jay Roberts, vuvuzelas in the South Africa World Cup.
Yes, forgot about those.
So
bloody
annoying.
vuvuzelas.
But Joe and I were there, and it was different when you were there,
yeah.
wasn't it? Don't you think? It was more of an atmosphere. I think TV, it was annoying.
Yeah.
But I think when you
it
were
was
there,
just part of the atmosphere, wasn't it?
it was because we were down in South Africa, and you could hear it was just people in the streets and stuff. It was, I don't know, it felt kind of different and quite exciting. I remember coming back and hearing everyone whinging and moaning about it, thinking, it was quite nice when it was there. Stadiums were really loud, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I wonder if they still have them. I wonder if, like, in South African football, I wonder if they still use vuvuzelas, where it was just a
Someone
fad
can
for
write
that
in
World
and tell
Cup.
us if they've been down there recently, whether they still use them.
Oh, I've got one in the loft. I should have brought it down for the podcast, shouldn't I?
Bring it next week.
A vuvuzela.
Bring it next week.
We're not on V next week.
I remember when I went on Sunday brunch with one. I think because I'd come back and I went. Brr, brr, brr.
It's a program he does.
Sundays, celebrities and all that sort of food, celebrities, music. It's
did
great.
it by himself this week?
Yeah, I did do it by myself. Yeah, someone was off ill, so I had to do it 3 hours on my own. What do you think about that, Joe? That's like being like a central midfield player and you're on your own. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you're a trooper, aren't you?
Hey, I tell you what, Joe, it's a long watch.
I bet it is.
Yeah, it's 3 hours long.
Oh,
Helen was on it once. She came on to do metal detector.
To show you how to metal detect.
She told me off on telly. She said, I know you're trying to get to the... And just started telling me off on telly. It was like being back on software.
I didn't.
You asked me.
I told you off when you said, will you take me metal detecting? And I went, oh, no, because I know you, Tim. And I know that if you didn't find anything in the first minute, you would abandon the entire process and just leave.
And then you started going,
That's how
I know you're trying to get to the end of this question because I know what you're doing, but I want to finish off answering this question.
I don't.
Like a married couple.
She did say something like that. It was very amusing.
Funny how we reverted straight back to our Tim and Helen. Sorry, had you finished? You were saying something about Sunday brunch when I interrupted.
Yeah, no, everyone just wrote in saying how horrific vuvuzelas were, and I had no idea how everyone hated them.
They hated.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, just R9 submitted a couple of these. Says Viali up the Chelsea and volleys.
Viali.
The volleys, the best Zidane Champions League final. I mean, it was
Tony Bauer.
Fantastic.
Scholes, Villa Park,
volleys.
Shearer.
Yeah.
Because because it came across.
Yeah, against Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Tony Bauer is the most iconic.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I agree. I agree with both of those.
Lynch says Vision, Pirlo, De Bruyne, Guti.
Guti. You were obsessed with Guti, weren't you?
Guti. I met him.
Oh my gosh, I'd forgotten that.
Kevin Hardy says, veterans of football. The last game of football I played, I was up front. This is vets football, yeah. I was up front with a fella, 81. He was quicker than me at 51, so I hung my boots up. Has anyone ever played that walking football? I've been asked to play it, but they play on a Sunday, and I do a show on a Sunday joke called
Sunday
Brunch.
Sunday Brunch, just talking about it.
Have you tried walking football, Tubes? Because you've got...
No, not interested.
Not interested?
No.
Why?
Because I'd rather jog
Rather
and
jog.
run.
Yeah, my mate who's a decent player says it's really good fun, but I can't quite visualise it myself. So
because I like playing through balls. So how do you play through balls to people who can't like?
You just need more.
You just walk slightly faster than the centre half.
I just think
yeah.
It's got its place though. Yeah. It's got its place because a lot of people play walking football that can't run anymore.
No, exactly.
So I think they love it.
Yeah, maybe when I can't run, in
Exactly.
10 years' time, I might give it a go. But at the moment, no, not for me.
But if you look at, here's going back into the archives here, you look at that 1970 World Cup final, Brazil, that's like walking football, isn't it? They're just like strolling around.
Yeah, they were so good they didn't need to run there.
It looked hot, didn't it, in that match? But it's getting cold now. Oh, it's getting really
here we go. Here we go.
Oh, I'm freezing. It's getting cold. It can only mean one thing.
Temp has dropped.
He's running down the left. He's running down the right. He's running down the left. He's running down the right. Cole Palmer is dynamite. It's Cole Palmer.
Oh, it's freezing in here. Cole Palmer's here. Cole is so cool. He's turned into Cold Palmer once more. He grabs for a scarf to warm himself up. But whose scarf is it? It's got a castle on the badge.
Oh, so not a colour. You're not going with the colour first.
No.
Carlisle.
Right. No, I reckon that's going to give
There's
it
a
away.
red and blue flag on the badge. There's a lion holding the flag.
The castle.
The castle is on a... No, it's not a castle, it's a
Sunderland.
castle. The castle is on a shield. There are two horses knocking about.
It's got everything.
Is it Sunderland?
The horses are sea horses.
Newcastle.
There's a shield in the middle of the horses, but below the castle, the shield is black and white. The nickname on the scarf is the Magpies.
Newcastle.
It is, of course, Newcastle. Well done. Seahorses. That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. We're big in Newcastle, seahorses. Loads of them knocking about.
Are there?
Yeah, everywhere, seahorses.
The castle represents the city's keep, and the castle built by Robert Curthose, whatever his name was, in 1080. Seahorses represents the city's maritime heritage, and a lion on top of the castle flies the flag of St. George. Why is it blue and red then? England's patron saint. Anyway, that is your Newcastle scarf. Helen, who should go next?
Why don't I go next?
Okay. Joe's got the crown. He'll go after you then. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Sorry, Joe.
It's all right. Ladies first.
I was supposed to go first, but we did tube, so you know.
Yeah.
You can go. Do you mind her going out order? You don't deserve the crown because you. Oh no, you did. You made it. It was a joke. So there you go.
Are you ready for this, everybody? I have my notes, right? My V is Kenny Vasey.
Best goalkeeper in the world.
Kenny Vasey, or as Tim dubbed him, the best goalkeeper in the world. And do you know why Tim called him the best goalkeeper in the world? Well, let me tell you. In the early days of Soccer AM, Lovejoy was very, very snidey about Torquay United and their players. Bunch of cloggers, I think, was his favourite. Tim was so arrogant that he actually thought he was as good as professional footballers that played for Torquay. So much so that when the club invited him down to train with them, it didn't even cross his mind what a bad and humiliating idea this was going to be. We arrived at the training ground and the players...
She's written an essay, look. She's written
an essay. I have. I've
Christ.
written this. Yeah.
Jesus.
We arrived at the training ground and the players surrounded Tim. He was still smiling.
Legend, they were going, legend.
I'm not sure you heard that correctly. They surrounded him and Tim was still smiling. They proceeded to kick the out of him for about 30 minutes until Tim was no longer smiling and actually said, "Wow, that was harder than I thought." They either passed him the ball and then kicked him, or put him in the middle and watched him chase the ball like a Jack Russell.
They did do that, yeah. They did do that.
Afterwards, we went up to the ground for Tim to take some penalties on the pitch against our goalkeeper, Kenny Vasey. Again, the confidence of a man who had absolutely no business being anywhere near this situation was soon put to sleep when Kenny saved the first 2 penalties without even moving. The third was a fake dive from Kenny. He still saved it. Lovejoy, a bit red in the face by now, ramped up the run-up and struck the ball as hard as he could for the next one. Kenny took half a step to his right and with a smirk caught the ball one-handed. A furious Lovejoy stood even further back for his 5th and final kick. 4-0 to Vasey so far, and the humiliation was finally kicking in. Tim was so far back from the ball, he had to do his special head back running in the build-up. And in the split second that he took his eye off the ball to glance up towards the goal, he saw Kenny Vasey hopping on his line, holding one leg up behind him and the other hand over his eye. The spot kick was still saved with ease.
Can I just go on?
Go on.
I just want to join in there because it wasn't at the last minute. It was the beginning of the run-up. He stood on one leg with one hand over the eye, and he still saved it. That honestly, he was like Dino's off that guy. He's one of the greatest goalies the world's
luckiest
ever
day of his life.
It was, he was unbelievable. He was unbelievable. How he didn't get a move to a big club is beyond me.
Kenny was a fantastic goalkeeper, but also, and I remember after that. So pre-Lovejoy believing that he was good enough to play for Torquay United, to the post where all of a sudden Kenny Vasey's the greatest goalkeeper in the world and all the lads should get moves to Premier League clubs was remarkable. It was remarkable. And so for this unforgettable experience, Kenny Vasey is my V. V for Vasey and V for valuable life lesson there, Lovejoy.
Oh, that's good. That's strong.
Yes,
well, do you know what? Though,
that's strong.
In my defence, some of the Torquay players had a little chat with me. You know when they put their hands over their mouth like that, so you can see, and they went, "You're pretty good, you are, mate. You're pretty good. You could play down here.
Yeah.
You could play.
You could do a job.
You could do a job. You could just.
You shouldn't be down here, Tim. You should be playing higher level.
You could play higher.
God.
You could
That's what he used to
sit
say.
in front of the back four and just spray balls around for us. That'd be great.
But now, if
You're a class above, so we're just going to have to kick you.
I
That's what they had to do.
Yeah.
Tubes had to kick me.
Yeah.
Had to kick me to bring me down.
Yeah.
But also, I turned up there after driving down to Torquay. Torquay's a hell of a long way away. It's like the bottom half of Britain down there somewhere. Not only that, I'd been doing a lot of soccer AM, so I wasn't match fit. So
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? It was like
I get it.
it was funny because I went down in golden boots, and they absolutely dragged me around like playing. It was funny.
I mean, they must have absolutely loved you down there.
Oh, it was really good fun. But I must admit, right, it was good. It was really good fun playing with the guys. But that Kenny Vasey thing, he got in my head so badly that I was like looking at the ball. You know, when you play golf and the cups can sometimes be really big, and then sometimes it can be like the size of a 10p piece. You're like, there's no way I'm getting this in.
Yeah.
I was looking at, and Kenny Vasey looked like a giant in the goal, and I was like, I cannot get this ball past him. And honestly, I was like more or less pushing it at him. It was pathetic. It was. You're right, Helen. I absolutely humiliated myself with Kenny Vasey, but he is one of the greatest goalies the world has ever seen.
Just lastly, Tim, just for you, I got a quote off Kenny. I spoke to him yesterday.
Statement.
I got a statement off of the great Kenny Vasey. I remember Tim trying to give me the eyes, but I think he was looking at the hot dog stand. I felt a bit sorry for him as it wasn't working. I even tried to let the third one in as I could see he was a broken man. I dived to my right before he even took it, but he put the ball right where I was lying.
Do you know what? I used to take the penalties for the Badgers. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I scored like 2.
Would you like to fly?
Yeah, like I
in
scored
my
like,
beautiful
remember?
balloon?
I scored like 2, and then suddenly I couldn't score. I think it might have been after Kenny Vasey.
Yeah, he killed
And
you.
You baggioed one.
I put
You
it right over
baggioed
the top.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, still
Yeah.
going.
I mean, I did that obviously for the giggles. For
the content, for the show content.
Yeah.
For the lols. No, I tell you, I would never take a penalty. It just haunts me now, penalty stuff. But it was really good day out down there, and I really did enjoy it. It was really cool of Torquay to let us do it, if truth be known, because they are a pro football team. Letting me come and mess about with them was quite
we
good
were
fun.
properly in the league then.
It was good fun. I mean, the fitness levels of those guys is phenomenal. You know,
It is crazy. Like we talk about and we muck around like saying, "Oh, it's only Torquay." The level of professional footballers is a joke.
Right.
Joke.
dudes. We got to move on, or should we do? I tell you what, let's do a quick stat chat before.
Oh,
Stat
yeah,
chat.
yes, please.
Lukey Sanders says the longest league unbeaten run of all time was AC Milan 91-93 season, as in over a couple of seasons. 58 games. 58 games unbeaten. That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mr. Tecker says Harry Kane scored in the Premier League on every day of the week and every month of the year and against every team he played. Okay. And Jack Green says Plymouth have beaten as many Premier League sides this year as they have Championship sides too.
Wow.
That's that chat. Now, Tubes, because you're about to have a baby, we thought we would get you a gift. A surprise.
Thank you very much.
I'm pointing at you. Now, you're going to love this. He played 229 times for Chelsea. One of our all-time great players, total legend of the game. It is Gianfranco Zola. For you,
Really?
Tubes there.
Oh, Gianfranco Zola, my hero. Buzzing.
Franco, how are you?
Good morning, and congratulations. I have the news. So it's a girl, no?
It's a girl, yeah. I'm going to call her
well done.
Lola Zola. Oh, wow.
Gianfranco, you know Tubes, don't you, from playing golf? Is that right?
Yeah. We came across. We play golf together. I went to one of these programs as well. It made me take free kicks live, and it was a shamble. But I forgive him. I love him too much, and he can do that. And hopefully you're gonna play golf again soon.
Absolutely.
Gianfranco,
Not now he's having a baby.
yeah. How did you get into golf? Because I was talking to Tubes about this once, and when you all came over to play at Chelsea, you know, you and Vardy and Shevchenko and everything, were you all golfers, or did someone get you into it?
No, actually, I wasn't at all. I remember that 1 year before, when I was at Parma, there was Thomas Bolin who was a golfer then, and he used to call me, "Come on, let's go and play golf. Let's play." I kept refusing. I said, "Their sport is not for me." And then all of a sudden, 1 year later, one day after training, me and Gianluca Vialli, we used to drive to the training ground together. And that day he tried before when I was driving the car, and I always said, "No, I can drop you there." And I go, that time he was driving his car, and he said, "Look, this time either you come or you have to walk home." So he convinced me, actually forced me to go and take some shots, and that was it. That was the end of it. I got completely addicted to it.
And are you good now? What's your handicap?
He's well good. He's well good. Yeah. He's proper good golfer. You're going to Bangkok soon, aren't you, as well?
Yeah, I'm actually going to leave tonight, so I'm getting ready. We need to smash some English. So
we don't know what this is. What is it?
It's called Icon Series. It's the rest of the world team versus England. So you've got legends like Gianfranco, Batistuta.
Oh,
there's like big hitters against like Sheringham,
that's amazing.
Joe Hart, Jimmy Bullard's playing out there. So
John Terry, Jimmy
John
Bullard,
Terry.
so they're all there. They are just they think they're unbeatable. They're gonna have a very, very hard time, I promise you.
Oh, I love it. Smack talk still.
Oh no. He has already started, and it's very hard.
Gianfranco, do you know you invented two things on Soccer AM? The first thing you invented was the showboat. It was me watching you doing the Rabona in a match, and I came in and said to everyone, "We've got to feature more skills in the show." But at the time, in English football, when you came over, skills was not appreciated, was it? Do you remember that when you came over? Because it all changed dramatically over from about 96 onwards, the late 90s. We started enjoying the skill more. Do you remember it changing?
Well, no, I remember that. Yes, the way I used to play was very appreciated over here. Not only myself, also players like Beckham, they were appreciated, especially because when you have a player with my qualities my qualities, they normally used to play on wide areas.
Yeah.
So it was very unusual to have somebody like me playing as a second striker or as a striker. So I remember, and honestly, for me, it's been very good, to feel, especially at the moment when I came over, I needed to have an experience like the one I've had over here. So it was a total bless for me.
I became
Bergkamp as well. Bergkamp was another very appreciated.
Gianfranco, I became a Parma fan way back when Channel 4 started showing Football Italia. And I thought, this is great. And I remember watching this game, Parma, and seeing this guy who was everywhere with all of the skills. And so every time Football Italia was showing Parma, I was like, I'm going to watch this because I need to watch this guy again. And it was you.
Thank you.
Gianfranco's the reason I'm good at kick-ups. You know, when I was at Soccer AM, everyone was like, do kick-ups. Yeah. I used to get early to watch Gianfranco warm up. And he used to just get the ball, boot it as high as possible, and then just catch it and keep it. And I was like that, just watching, like literally the highest he could. Well, keep it going. It's amazing.
The other thing you invented on Soccer AM was the Crossbar challenge, because I used to come to Chelsea and I used to get there early, and you and Tour Andre Flo once were standing there. Well, you did it a few times, and you were trying to hit the crossbar from, I think it was the penalty spot, then the edge of the 6 yard, the edge of the 18-yard box, and then all the way back to the halfway line. And I was watching that, and I went, we should get players to see if they can hit the ball from the cross from the halfway line.
I didn't know that. Did Gianfranco started crossbar challenge?
I didn't know. Well, I didn't know I invented all these things, actually. I had no clue what I was doing. No, actually, Actually, yeah, I remember that it was a drill we used to use to to get warm and to get the feeling of hitting the ball with the right distance. All these little things that you do just to get yourself ready for the game. I remember it was something that I used to like a lot. This is something that is being taught to me by the immense Diego. Diego used to do his type of warm-ups before training, before the game. You just need to get the feeling of the ball, and it was good for me, actually, very, very good.
Yeah, how good was Diego? I mean, that's such a stupid question,
Yeah,
isn't
he
it?
was all right, Tim. Yeah, he could play.
Won the World Cup a few times. But I mean, what an amazing player! It must have been amazing to know him.
No, it was fantastic. Honestly, it was something. He was somebody that he had such a great imagination. He used to do things that in those days nobody used to do, and honestly, to have somebody like him in training for somebody like me, I was very young, and I was like a sponge. I wanted to learn. I wanted to take every opportunity to know something new. And for me, it was like every day discovering something new and something to play with, and fantastic.
Did he play?
I can't say enough.
Did he play golf? Because he would have loved to be in that rest of the world team taking on England on the golf course.
Yeah, in the end, yeah. When he retired, he picked up the golf. I didn't think he put too much practice into it. But
He didn't need to.
he was better at jogging the golf balls rather than kicking it with
Right. Brilliant.
Amazing.
Listen, Gianfranco, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you,
us
mate.
today.
I'm buzzing.
No, I mean,
my hero.
Deserve this. So thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure for me to see all of you, and I'm looking forward to come back again. But the Tubes doesn't invite me anymore, so I'm gonna ask you directly an invitation, and I will come. But don't ask me to take free kicks because I get injured every time I do.
Thanks, mate.
I love you, mate.
Best luck with
Thank
the
you
golf.
so much.
Cheers.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Franco.
Bye, mate.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Take
Bye.
care.
Brilliant, thank you.
Joe, you wear the crown. What's your V?
What was it this week?
V.
V?
Is this 100% truthful this week, or are you going to make something up to
Yeah, I
win?
think it is gospel this week.
Yeah.
People like debate the most iconic sporting photograph of all time. Like Muhammad Ali
Oh, I like
towering
this.
over
This
his
is good.
sparked out opponent.
Yeah.
Maradonna's hand of God.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah,
I know where you're going here.
The
Yeah.
Black Power salute at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to throw it into the mix because every time I see this, it just tickles me. Right? I used to have it as my screensaver on my computer. I've blown the budget this week. I've got a prop. My V this week is Vincent Peter Jones.
Vinnie Jones.
And here he is.
Grabbing.
I'm not. No. That's the obvious choice, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Grabbing Gaz's knackers.
Yeah.
Yes.
What have you got then?
Yeah, the one I'm going for is when he took out a 5-year-old mascot at Leeds, when he was at Leeds.
Right, so you're going to have to describe this for us because some people listen to the podcast and not watch it. So,
So basically, right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the background. Here it is. So it's when he was at Leeds. This is 1989.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing Wolves at Ellen Road. Vinny's there. He decides to take out a 5-year-old mascot, and the picture is him just executing a perfect slide tackle on this poor little sprog who he sent flying to the turf. There it is.
Let me have a look.
There it is. Okay, and
I
the
remember
reason
it,
he
I've
did
seen
it,
it.
the reason he did it was that Vinny claimed the 5-year-old was asking for it because he'd been giving it the big un beforehand. 5 years old. He said he had to have it. He had to go. He was giving it all that on the way out, he was. Started getting the crowd going. This is a quote. Mervyn Day was in goal. He smashed one past Merv in the top corner, so I thought he's got to go. It was before the game. I was just getting warmed up. When you go out with the mascots and you're holding hands, I thought, has anyone ever taken one out? That would be a crack. It was really wet and slidey as well. I went to David Batty, watch this. He went, oh, no. I went sliding in. I slid quite a long way. I took his legs out just as he was about to smack one at the keeper. So the youngster who got cleaned out was called Rob Kelly. And when Vinny got told he'd hacked down a 5-year-old in front of the full stadium, he couldn't believe it. He said, 5? I thought he was at least 6.
It's a joke, right? That bit's a joke, yeah?
Yeah, that is a joke.
We never know which bit to believe.
Hells, you might well remember
Yes.
this. Vinny was a guest on Soccer AM in 2016.
And we brought him on. Yeah.
Yeah, and the kid, who wasn't 5 anymore, he was actually 32 by then. He was actually in the studio that day. Their paths crossed again. Vinny shook his hand, but he refused to apologise for cropping him when he was 5 years old. Superb. Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones.
Nice.
There you go.
I love that photo.
Was this before a proper football match?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, there's a crowd
Yeah.
in the background.
There was this kid was
It
taking...
wasn't like a charity game or something.
No, it was against Wolves in 89.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah.
Does that just leave my... That's very good. So we've had... What have we had? We've had value, but he didn't do his math and convert the sums from... It was very good, but didn't convert the sums.
I mean, it was very good though, wasn't it?
Helen had Kenny Vasey, greatest goalkeeper in the world.
That's the winner so far.
And Joe, you've gone for Vinnie Jones.
Good story, though.
I'm going for VHS.
All right.
A bit worried about doing this. It's quite nostalgic, and I know Helen likes a bit of a nostalgia, and I've got to win one. We're running out of letters. And when I say VHS, I mean 101 Great Goals, the 1987 video, and I'm just going to read the back. And I forgot this. This is where we got goals from. It starts with goals, goals, goals. And I remember now talking to Andy Harris about this, Shandy, Gunnar in the gallery, top man. And because it had that on the back, so that's why we did the show with goals, 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 because I was so obsessed
The
with
only
101
breakfast show in Britain that brings you goals.
So on the back it says goals, goals, goals. 65 minutes of non-stop action with 101 great goals from BBC Sports coverage of English, International, FA Cup, Football League and League Cup matches between 1969 and 1987. The most memorable collection of outstanding goals features a host of football heroes past and present, including Charlton, Best, Keegan, Clark, Villa, Robson, and many, many more. Commentators David Coleman, Barry Davis, Tony Gubber, John Motson, Alan Parry, Alan Weeks, and Kenneth Wolstenholme. So that was the back of it. And the front of it, do you remember the front of it? It's an iconic picture of Bobby Charlton on the front. And it's VHS for any of our younger listeners or viewers. VHS had just sort of started coming along and people getting them into their houses. And it was such a gift when 101 great goals came along. We take goals for granted now, don't we? And if you're honest with yourself, have you seen every single Premier League goal every week during the season? Are you watching all the championship goals? Because when Soccer M started, people were watching all the goals. We cut it down in the end, didn't we, to like the 10 best of each league, because there's just too many goals. But you're spoilt with goals now. They were scarcity back when we were kids. You were tuning to Football Focus. You couldn't miss Football Focus because you had to watch it when it was actually on. You could, there was no such thing as setting the video for it when it first started. And then when you did, no one set their video for it. Saint and Greavesy, absolutely brilliant. It was so important to us. And for us, me and my friends, I don't know if anyone else listening to this would agree that there was multiple copies of 101 Great Goals around me and my friends, and we would go for a night out. And if the night out wasn't great, you always knew you could get home,
Put it on.
stick 101 Great Goals on, and you knew everyone would just be happy sitting there watching it. Especially Ronnie Radford comes on, scores for Hereford, and all the Parker boys run on, all the balls with the snooker Parker, the snorkel Parkers would run on like that. You had, I'm going to tell you some of the goals there. Jimmy Greaves, Martin Chivers, Ronnie Radford, I just mentioned, Keegan, Bess. The Liam Brady one, left foot.
Oh, the curler.
Unbelievable. Hoddle. It was simpler times back then. Dalglish, Fashnu, the Fashnu goal for Norwich. Unbelievable. Ian Rush. And we knew all these goals and we just sort of loved them. We cherished them. And a goal was so important to us now. It was an innocent time. Football didn't seem to be a competition then of who knows the most. You know what I mean? Who knows the most about their club's finances? Who knows the most about their squad of players? People banging on about football tactics. We have a sea of young men discussing football finances. We've got a tsunami of people discussing the false number 9. It was a simpler time, wasn't it? Did you see Liam Brady just smack the ball in the back of the net? Have you seen Hoddle score a goal from outside the box? Beautiful times. VHS, we cared about football, we cared about goals. In summary, it's very nostalgic, but the VHS changed our lives.
That VHS used to go on Badgers trips on the coach,
Did
didn't
we
it?
take it?
Yeah, it used to get put on. Apart from the time Gaz Whelan from the Mondays turned up and put one of his own his videos on the coach. Yeah, different type of video.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
but did we play it all the time?
Yeah, it used to go on. Yeah,
but all those goals, I can mention them. Like a Spurs Ricky Villa goal. And you'll just visually, it just comes to you immediately. Those 101 great goals, and because it was over such a long period of time, and I just remember. And then VHS obviously was massive at the time. And then if it wasn't 101 great goals, we were watching Terminator or Predator or RoboCop or something like that. VHS became huge, and I think the innocence of that time deserves to win me the crown this week.
He's getting desperate, isn't he?
Yeah. It's not. I don't. Is that desperate, or is it a wonderful, wonderful memory in all our for us all? And all
it is.
All Before you make your mind up, who's won, Helen? Have you got some? What's wrong with footballs?
Paul Waterford says post-match analysis concentrating on the faults of the favourites. Now, this is his words, not mine. Brackets liver plop. Rather than crediting the underdog, brackets Villa. Media bias. That's been forever, though.
Yeah, and I agree with him totally.
It's always been where the bigger team went wrong rather than the not necessarily smaller team, but like you say, the underdog are doing well. James Atkins says, spare footballs on the cones. Go back to the days of ball boys being scamps when an away player wants to crack on with it. And he remembers the ball boy that got the hug off Mourinho for assisting a goal that time. That was Tottenham, wasn't it? Champions League.
I don't think they're allowed now, are they? I think that's the rules. That the balls have to be they have to put the balls on the cones.
Yeah,
now.
is that a COVID thing?
I'm not sure,
maybe.
but I think it's actually a rule now.
I love this one from Adam Helsby. All UEFA competitions taking hours to complete the draw and being so confusing. Just pull balls out the bag like the FA Cup and be done with it.
Yeah, I think that as well. And then you could get two giants against each other early doors. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
And one more, Andy Miller says clubs charging for kids to be mascots. The amount of money invested by parents taking their kids to games should be enough.
I didn't know that, but if that's true, is that true?
I didn't.
Is that true?
You
That
have to pay, yeah.
Wow. To be a mascot.
But
Surely that's just something you give back to them. I tell you.
Lucky winners this week.
It's always.
But is it like a match day experience? Do you pay because you go in and have a bit of dinner or something and then sit somewhere nice to watch the game? Because
Why can't they do that for free?
Yeah, you can't be giving food away. Look at Manchester United this week. You can't be giving grub away for nothing. Sandwiches and soup now for all of the staff.
Which
I think's fine.
We've run out of time, so just while Helen makes her mind up what's one, I'll do I'll do some quick woke nonsense. Henry said guards of honour, woke nonsense. Samuel says wokest thing in football, moaning to your wife that you've sent in the same point to soccer A to Z 5 times only for them to read it out from somebody else. Woke nonsense. Kieran says cheese boards on the train for an away day. Woke nonsense.
That is woke nonsense.
Cheese board on the train.
Who does that?
I
Who
like
does
the
that?
idea. Then a bit of sophistication in a football fan on the train. I think I like that.
That's not right.
Pop a bit of shampoo and some cheese board.
Cheese
Wonderful.
board.
That's wonderful, isn't it?
Made up, surely.
Chelsea,
That's like Rotherham Grounds when we left the undershore eating on all summer.
Villa away, get the shampoo out and the cheese board. And David said Lino standing in front of the board to stop a corner being taken whilst the ref sorts out some mild handbags in the area. That is woke nonsense.
Love that.
But he goes on to say, which is interesting, If the corner is the other side, there's no lino to obstruct the ball, and the player magically just waits for the ref signal. You could add linos only being able to check if the ball is in the corner white lines on one side of the pitch only two. Utter woke nonsense.
That is awesome.
And he's got a really
That's
good
awesome.
one.
He deserves a hat for
We either
that.
need to stop it or get more linos. Helen, did I win?
Kenny Vasey wins. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm with her.
I win.
So no.
number one, me.
Yeah. Vasey wins. Vasey wins.
VHS.
The fact you got a quote from him as well, a statement.
Exactly.
I like it. Yeah. The way you told it, fantastic.
That's the end of this week's
Vasey.
show. What's
Yeah.
after V?
Vasey.
King of the V's.
Vasey.
W.
Vasey.
W. We'll be back with W next week for winner, which is never me. We'll see you on Friday though for the Q and Q. See you later.
You're
Bye,
right,
bye.
Jim.
He's broken,
Bye-bye.
isn't he?
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to watch last week's great episode. Click here. Where is it? There?